Halitosis or bad breath causes. Learn how to overcome this problem. This internet site is all about halitosis, generally known as bad breath, and anybody can develop it regardless of how systematically she or he looks after their teeth as well as general health. Halitosis is not a dangerous health problem, but it is able to make any individual to feel uncomfortable in social events, lead to mental stress, and reduce a person's self-confidence. Just about all cases of unpleasant bad breath or halitosis and also taste problems include a couple of anaerobic sulfur-creating bacteria that exist below the surface area of your own tongue, in the throat, and frequently in your own tonsils, in the event you still possess tonsils. These types of bacteria respond to changes in their surroundings by creating odorous and awful-flavored volatile sulfur compounds. The only reliable solution to get rid of bad breath or halitosis would be to correct your current oral natural environment to ensure that it is significantly less helpful to producing and preserving the volatile sulfur compound creating bacteria which lead to bad breath and also horrible mouth taste. Several of the problems that lead to bad breath or halitosis are a dry mouth or lack of saliva, heavy saliva, tooth decay or periodontal condition, for example gingivitis, extra mucus in the throat, dentures and bridges, postnasal drip, meals trapped between the teeth, a diet plan rich in proteins, smoking cigarettes, sinusitis, alcohol in drinks or remarkably in your mouthwash, hormonal modifications, bronchitis or perhaps pneumonia, prescription medications that have dry mouth, as an unwanted effect antidepressants, hypertension medications, nasal polyps, history of diabetic issues, extreme usage of classic oral solutions which contain alcohol and also sodium lauryl sulfate. You are probably wondering, what about garlic and cheese? Exactly what does bacteria have to do with the halitosis? I have any time I consume Mexican food? The reality is that sulfur is additionally the reason in situations of halitosis a result of food unpleasant odors. Onions, garlic, as well as other spicy meals have a number of sulfur compounds, often called mercaptans, that happen to be extremely odorous. Basically, almost all cases of true unpleasant bad breath or perhaps taste problems or halitosis, as many love to refer to it as, incorporate beneficial bacteria and must not be dealt with antibiotics. Halitosis will never result from your gastrointestinal system. Obviously not. There is absolutely no wide open pipe linking the large intestine, small intestine, and abdomen to your gullet and out your oral cavity. You have valves, muscle tissues, circular muscle that usually controls constriction of a natural body flow or orifice and which loosens up as necessary by usual physiological properly functioning, and so on. That maintain consumed meals in its appropriate location. In case patient burps or produce gas noisily from the abdomen through the mouth frequently, that bad breath is not exactly what we are now talking about here. That could be managed. But, there are many individuals that have trouble distinguishing between and bad breath emanating from the throat and tonsil region and odor originating from gastrointestinal system. That is very important. Bad breath or halitosis is a result of anaerobic sulfur-creating bacteria which usually exist below the surface area of the tongue as well as in the throat. These types of bacteria are meant to be there, since they help people in digestion of food by deteriorating proteins present in particular foods, mucus fluid or liquid released by the mucous membranes of mammalians, blood, as well as in diseased or perhaps broken down oral tissue mass. Under specific situations, these types of bacteria begin to deteriorate proteins at an extremely high speed. These types of trouble substances in many cases are known as volatile sulfur compounds, in which volatile is taken to indicate evaporating quickly, which precisely illustrate their capability to offend other individuals with halitosis immediately. Every person on the planet carries the identical group of bacteria in their oral cavity. You cannot get bad breath from another person, even by kissing. Because they are an important part of our usual oral vegetation, you cannot completely get rid of all of them from your oral cavity, not by tongue scraping, not by antibiotics, and also not by rinses which promise to remove the bacteria off your tongue. The only clinically confirmed and clinically successful technique of stopping halitosis is simply by targeting the bacteria's capability to generate volatile sulfur compounds and also by transforming the volatile sulfur compounds into non-odorous as well as non-flavored natural salts. Talking about bacteria, there is certainly one more indisputable fact that you need to realize regarding these types of bacteria. They are categorized as anaerobic, which actually signifies without oxygen. They flourish in surroundings in which oxygen is not existing. That is the reason they cannot live on the surface area of a tongue. They are living in between the papillae fibers which make up the tongue.